Ding. All right. So yeah, last time that we met, you guys had met up with some bugbears that it later turned out were sort of in cohorts with a hobgoblin you had met much earlier in the campaign, and that hobgoblin, uh, whose name is written down on a piece of paper here somewhere that I don't have, of course. Uh, he controls a legion of these hobgoblins. Kvizek, the bull. Um, you guys had a chance to meet up with these guys and kind of they basically made it clear that they were troubled by all the undead in the area, and so you've come to sort of an agreement, at least for now, to not attack each other because you seem to have a common enemy. And investigating the area that you are in, you've come across this large statue. Stands about 2 to 3 times as tall as any man, and the statue depicts a large helmed warrior with a sword in its right hand and a shield in its left, wearing just this massive stone armor that's very detailed and ornate. And it stands in the middle of kind of a large formation of these 4 rocks. You guys are sort of in this little copse of trees here, and there's more trees around the outside edge. And you're sort of led to believe that this area, to sort of summarize what you had learned last time, when Valk's less favorite or least favorite of his 2 avatar voices came through, and Merkul gave you the information that somewheres in the area was the resting place or hiding place or guarding place of Tyranthraxus, the Flamed One. And all signs so far point to this being some sort of memorial to that particular deity. The most predominant of which is this sign with large printed words that say, "Here we smote Tyranthraxus. Woe be to those that would reignite his ancient power, the Dark Three." I think it's a clue. What would you guys like to do?
I would like to approach the sign.
And you may do so. Everybody else walking with Valk, or is Valk just kind of walking out by himself?
I'll go up with him.
I'll go with them.
You are all here.
So I've read the sign at this point, yes?
Yep. Yeah, you guys can see it clearly. It's like a billboard.
I am going to pray to Merkul and ask him for some guidance.
Okay. Make a religion check for me.
Sure. Come on, religion. There we go. Oof.
Right. Fuck off! Is the response you get back.
I mean, no need to swear.
Seems he's busy.
I asked Reggie what he thinks of it.
He says, "Oh, well, I'm getting a similar energy signature as I did in the mud plains."
Refresh my memory, Reggie.
When you first encountered the whatever the creature was in the mud plains back there before old Valk here collected that Jahamdeth dagger that Guilfoyle so merrily stabbed him with.
Gotcha.
Back there was a similar energy pattern, something similar here. Some ancient energy.
Okay.
So unfortunately, and I'm speaking to the party at this point, unfortunately, our patron god of death, one of the two, Merkul, has told me to blank off in so many words. So I have no idea what we're doing. Zach, is the statue holding a torch or anything like that, or is it just kind of standing there like an asshole?
Nope. It is standing there just like an asshole. You do notice the ornate details on it go right down. It seems like the seams on this thing are really deep. Whoever put this statue here was a very crafted stoneworker.
Mm.
Can I do an arcane check?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, I got advantage, so.
What are you checking for specifically?
Just like any magic around a statue or magical means of gathering any more information from it or opening it or anything of that sort. Alright, so
Oof, okay.
with advantage, I got on my second roll, I got a unnatural 20.
Nice.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. That's what I was looking for there.
Okay, so yeah, as you're kind of thumbing through a few of your books from the library, Reggie comes back and he says, "Yes, I think this is almost definitely the place that you folks are looking for. I'm getting a strong reading of the presence of one of the pieces of the rod here. It seems to be in the statue."
Hmm. What does the sign say again, please?
The sign says, "Here we smote Tyranthraxus. Woe be to those that would reignite his ancient power, the Dark Three." The Dark Three is the nickname that Merkul, Ball, and Bane used to use for themselves. Fun fact.
Elf, set the statue on fire.
Sure you don't want me to try to push it over first? It worked last time.
Scratch that. Murder lizard. Push the statue over.
I'm going to try to push the statue over.
Alright, make a strength check.
16.
Okay, you push the statue over. It groans and the pedestal sort of shifts and it tips off from the pedestal, but it does not break. It retains its form and just kind of goes thunk and lands sideways on the ground.
Is there anything underneath the statue at all?
No.
It's like, well, that was anticlimactic.
I asked Reggie where he senses the piece of the rod and how I might get to it.
Well, it appears that... That's a funny visual to me. He says, "It appears that it's emanating from the statue's sword. But, yes, I believe Sir Valk was onto something with the idea that flame may activate it somehow. I'm not quite sure."
Should I use my cantrip to... Wait, hold on a second. Let me get to my spells. If I use firebolt on it, would it just put... It would... I wonder if that... Alright, Reggie, if I use firebolt on it, would that be too much, or should we just light it on fire?
Miss, if I had shoulders, I would shrug extremely hard right now. I'm not quite sure.
I still got some oil we can put all over it.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's do it. If that doesn't work, then I'll just blast that shit.
We need that stick. We have to stop.
Okay. So yeah, you pour the oil all over the sword, and you cast... Well, you light it, or do you cast a magical fire on it, or however you do it, it becomes lit, and the fire burns for a moment, and then it begins to spread up the arm, and the chest and the leg. And it's spreading, of course, like horizontally, but also vertically. So now it's reaching like the shield and the shoulders, and the statue begins to move. Why the hell am I on the ground?
Should I hit it?
Hold off. That
Should-
was an axe. Oh, what were you gonna say, Bob?
I was going to say, should I hit it?
So
He's talking, but he doesn't move.
He's beginning to get up at this point. He's like, we'll still consider him prone at this point. Who be you mortals?
Oh,
I
hello. I'm Volk, and I happen to be the avatar of, I don't know if you've heard of these guys, Kelemvor and Merkul.
When you say Merkul, he lets out a shriek of rage, and I need you guys to roll initiative.
Ooh. Alrighty. He does not like one of them or both of them.
19.
That would be a 6 for me.
I get advantage on initiative, and I got an 18.
Alright, and he got 17 plus whatever his sex is. Oh, 18. Okay, so done that.
So D&D Beyond has new settings where you can like pick who sees it. So like we could send like a dice roll just to the DM now, which is pretty neat. I see.
That's cool.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh, like a whisper roll.
Yeah. So if I just roll that, that probably just shows up on Zach's screen
Yeah, I'm not getting it.
where it says to self.
Yep.
Ah.
That's
Interesting.
pretty cool. Yeah, I actually I installed an extension on Google Meet too that's got a dice roller thing in it, but I'm not quite sure. It's like you type it in the chat and it rolls the dice for you, but it's sort of clunky. Let's see. Zoom you guys back in. So before he is able to get up, Velk, what would you like to do?
Oh, if he's letting out that shriek of rage while he's getting
Yeah,
up?
like as soon as you say the words, you say Kelemvor, and he sort of tips his head sideways, and then he says Merkul. When you said Merkul, he like just instantly does that crazy like protean alien shriek, like but wicked loud.
Okay. Well, obviously he doesn't like us. I don't like him. And since... Screw it. Go 2 attacks with the longsword. I might, if I hit once, I might throw a divine smite on there just for extra fun and flavor.
All right.
So here goes nothing with longsword attack 1. Wait, sorry, ignore that, please. No, what the fuck am I doing?
Does he have advantage because he's prone, or?
He is prone right now. You do have advantage on the attack. Sorry.
Maybe what the fuck did I do here? Sorry, I'm.
All good. You know how many of those moments I've had in this campaign, Bob?
Yeah, it's annoying as
So
shit.
many.
Like I don't know why this thing just rolled for me. Rolling attack for longsword. There we go with our 20. That's a 22.
Okay.
You can roll twice. You get to get a crit.
Yeah, you should roll your second attack roll. Absolutely.
Yeah, second attack roll coming up. Not as great with a 10.
Okay, I would take the
But-
22 myself.
but
Yeah,
I'm
that is a hit.
The 22 hits. I'm going to burn a. I don't know why all these billions of dice are rolling in my face unless someone's pranking me. But Yeah, Divine Smite should allow me to. You're gonna have to forgive me. I'm gonna have to close and reopen D&D Beyond. It's acting really funky.
Oh, good.
Sorry about that, guys. If anything, it buys time for Bill,
Yeah,
Dave.
for a plan. Yeah, Guilfoyle is nowhere to be found, obviously, because
Naturally.
first sign of danger, he's going to disappear anyway. So just stuck him off over here.
All right. I'm gonna burn a second level slot. And so that's Divine Smite is going to be 2d8 extra radiant damage plus 1d8 for each spell level higher than first. So that's 3d8.
Correct.
Plus my regular attack. So here goes nothing with this. I'm pretty pittance with a 4 there, but then I get 3d8 on top of it. So nothing terrible there. 1, 2, 3. God damn. There we go. Wow, shittiest rolls ever. So fucking 8 damage.
Alright. So you run over to this guy while he's getting up and just thwack him in the helmet, and it just click clong. Your sword is not magical unless I am mistaken, correct?
Correct.
Okay. He does not appear to be damaged at all from this.
Cool.
Tohan. Unless there's anything else, Val.
No, not currently.
Okay.
You only get one attack, or
No, I the second attack I rolled a 10 on, which I assume is a miss, Zach.
That was
With
because you had advantage.
No, that
So
was just because you had
You
advantage.
would get now a second attack then.
Oh, I mean,
I forgot
all
we
right.
just talked about that you have extra attack.
Did the radiant damage do anything to this guy, or is it?
Yes, he would have actually taken the radiant damage because it's divine
All right.
smite. So you
He
did
took
successfully.
4.
Okay.
So
you took 4 off of 3d8? Damn,
that was a shit roll. Yeah, I'm not happy with it either, buddy.
that's shenanigans.
Fucking garbage. I know. Trust me. I'm not pumped. All right. So here goes nothing. I assume a 23 hits if a 22 does. I'm going to try to redeem myself and go Divine Smite again.
Okay.
So this will do nothing, which is a 5. But then I'll burn up that second level slot to, come on, 2, 3. Wow. There we go, which is a little bit better. That was a 10.
Okay, so
Shit and rolls suck.
is that 15 all day then, right?
Yeah. So I think 14 radiant damage, but weapon damage probably 0.
Correct. 14 radiant. Mathing hard. Uh-huh. All right, so yeah, the you're smacking it, and like your sword doesn't seem to be doing much damage, but the sheer fervor of your cries and your gods backing you up on your strike is still actually doing some damage to this thing. So Tohan.
Okay, I'm gonna rage and go right up to him.
Okay.
My Giant Slayer Great Axe says giant refers to any creature with giant type. Would this be a giant type? Or is that is giant refer to size, or like giants, ettins, and trolls basically is what it refers to?
This is neither a giant ettin nor troll. I will assume that it is not referring to this creature type.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna swing at it with a Great Weapon Master, so I'm gonna take the -5, but with an advantage.
Okay.
And I rolled damage for some reason on that. All right. Sorry.
Okay.
It's also being slow for me here. There we go. First one will be a 15 to hit.
Does not hit.
Okay. Then worse, I'm with advantage, so I'm going to try a second time. Same thing. Just fucking garbage rolls. All right, 20 to hit.
All right. 20 just hits. 20 is target AC.
Okay. All right. So that is 20 total damage because +2 because I'm raging and plus the 10 damage from Great Weapon Master.
Do you have a magical weapon?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, good. So what was the total damage?
20 total.
20 total. Cool. Yay, easy math. All right. And at this, this guy now uses his action to correct himself, standing, towering above you, probably, like I said, three times the height of a normal man. Where's my tab? Somebody wants in. Bloop. Hello.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Did you and Dave meet up?
We did. Had a couple
Awesome.
brief PAs.
Nice. Yeah. So you've arrived at the perfect time.
You're good.
So
I picked a fight with a giant stone statue, Nick. Roll initiative.
Great. I would have it no other way.
We didn't do anything to it first. Definitely didn't get knocked over. Set up fire.
It's like a surefire bet. It seems like just watching D&D TikToks and YouTube videos. If you give your players a giant statue, they'll knock it over and set it on fire. It's like a guarantee. At least
They call it
once.
the giant statue effect.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's amazing what kind of trouble half the party can get into.
Yeah, I love it. It's wonderful. So yeah, if you want to roll initiative, I'll pop you in the
Yep.
initiative order.
Yep, on it. All right, I rolled 16.
All right, cool. So you'll be going next.
And I'm sorry, what am I fighting right now?
A giant stone statue that we set on fire and knocked over.
Yep, that's all we know.
wait.
Okay, good.
what is, the sign said, "Here lies who again?"
This
Tyranthraxus.
is Tyranthraxus, the flamed one.
Okay.
Now this is reference to one of the old gods that Merkul told Valk that perhaps Malakani was trying to gain access to, essentially. He told you guys were led to believe that these old gods would be the possessors of items that might help you on your quest. Yeah, and as this thing rises to its feet, the flames that are starting to kind of smolder, he holds up his sword and it ignites into just this giant fiery mass. And the shield he looks at on his arm, and it flares up also, and these flames are bright red and orange and just going all over the place, like they're really flaming out wildly. And his entire body erupts, and he's just surrounded in this this kind of coating of fire. Alright, Venadia, it's going to be your turn, because he had to use his action to stand himself up, and he does not have any sort of legendary shit.
Cool.
At least I can help him with that.
So, do I understand anything about this enemy? I mean, as far as its weaknesses or anything like that?
Presuming that Reggie kind of broadcast to the group when him and Arianth were talking about it, you know that it is. You read this sign which said, "Here we smote Tyranthraxus, woe be to those that would reignite his ancient power," which led Velk to suggest that maybe they should set it on fire. Tohan knocked it over, and then they set it on fire because knocking it over didn't seem to do anything. It did, however, gain you guys the fact that he was prone on his first round of combat. So there's that.
That
Excellent.
Was indeed.
So that's what you
I'm
know about
sure.
it so far.
Great. All right. I
That
might as
requires a
well.
D20.
I might as well just swipe at it a few times with some swords and see what happens, right?
Okay. So you run up to this thing. Bloop.
We got a 16.
Does not hit.
Nope. And an 18?
Still does not hit.
All right.
Target
Great.
AC is 20 has been discovered already by Toma.
Oh, good.
All right. Arianth, your turn.
All right, I've gotten the general idea that this guy it has to be a magical weapon to give him damage. Now, if I use a magical spell that does bludgeoning damage, does that count because it's a magic spell?
Yes, that would be a form of magic damage.
Okay, good. All right, so I'm gonna cast erupting earth, but I'm going to, aim it so that it's not anywhere on the three that are around him, if that's possible, since it's a 20-foot radius.
Okay, yeah, you could get it from like his backside because he's probably stands 10 foot wide.
All right, I kind of yelled at the others to be prepared and step back if you can, and I cast erupting earth, which requires him to do a dexterity throw against 14.
Okay. He gets advantage on all saving throws. So dexterity, he's got a +1. He got a nat 20 on his first one.
Sound good?
So he sort of picks his foot up as the earth erupts and stomps the earth back down into the ground, just sort of like it's a moderate
Well,
inconvenience.
He still gets half damage on 3d12 though.
Okay.
So hold on, let me cast that real quick. So 12.
All right. And he says, "If you're followers of that little rat, then a swift death will not come to you." Alright. After Arianth, would normally be Maggie and Guilfoyle, but as they're not here, we'll just skip them for now. We'll say that Maggie is somewhere's over here, muttering some sort of a prayer or something. Arianth, did you want to move at all?
I'm sorry, which figure is mine again?
The yellow one.
Yellow.
Yep.
I'll actually move back a little bit.
Okay.
How many feet from am I right now?
You're about probably 10 or so feet away, maybe a little bit more.
Can you move me so that I'm about 30 feet away?
Yes. Oh yeah, it puts you like right over here. Like you can get right to the edge of this rock here.
Alright, cool.
And again, I'm assuming the Guilfoyle is hiding somewhere nearby. Bloop. So yeah, that brings us back to Velk.
Am I allowed to equip that dagger?
Yeah, I believe you already attuned to it, didn't you?
Did I?
I don't know. I think so. We'll say sure.
All right, I don't know if I have to expend an action to switch out to the dagger or what.
No, changing weapons once is a free action. Any additional weapon changes after that become like a regular action, I believe. If I remember correctly. That way you're not like, I infinitely switch between my dagger and sword, haha.
Yeah.
I don't know why people would do something like that, but it's...
You said it was a dagger +1?
Yes. It's +1 to hit and to damage.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to probably then go ahead and try to attack him twice with the dagger.
Okay.
24 to hit.
That hits. Yep.
7 damage. And second attack with the dagger. Miss.
Okay. Yeah, and when this dagger penetrates him, he lets out a kind of, the first time he actually seems like he feels pain. You'll pay for that.
Can I apply a bonus action at the end of this turn and cast Branding Smite?
Yeah.
Okay, I do that. So next time I get him, it's going to hurt a little more, hopefully.
All right. Tohan.
All right, I'm gonna attack him recklessly, not Great Weapon Master, because his AC is real high. And I don't know. Oh, there we go. Well, good thing I said recklessly. 'Cause the first attack is a nat 1. There we go. 18 to hit on the first one. Probably doesn't hit.
18 does not hit.
And then a 26 on the second one.
26 is a hit.
All right. $19 damage.
Nice.
+2 for raging. Yep.
Awesome. When you make contact with him, I should have had Valk do this as well. Sorry to retcon this, Valk, but I'm going to need you and Tohan, once you hit him, both to roll a Constitution save or take 1d6 fire damage.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
Oh, God, be with me. Thank God for that nat 20.
Nice. Yeah, so you guys both pass. It's only a DC 15. Alright, and then his turn. Let's see. What's he do? Action. 2. Let's see.
I will be right back.
Okay, I gotta look up a spell. Not that he's gonna cast a spell, but he's gonna cast a spell.
I was hoping he was going to cast Fist.
There it is. So yeah, he kind of waves his hand in front of him with the sword, and from the sword springs forth a tongue of flame, and directly in front of him, 20 feet high and a foot thick, springs up a 60-foot long wall of fire. Or I'm sorry, we'll say it's a ringed wall, so it's 20 feet in diameter. So basically out 10 feet on either side of him, pretty much where you guys are standing. He generates a giant wall of fire. When the wall appears, each creature within its area must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, you will take 5d8 fire damage, or half as much on a success.
Zach,
Yes.
so these fires, like what form are they taking? Are they just like engulfing each of us individually?
It is literally a foot thick wall of flame that just kind of lights up. Like he sort of spreads it like napalm across in front of all of you with his sword, and it just leaps up, and it's just this kind of wall of flame.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So you need a dexterity saving
Yep.
throw.
So dex save from Valk, Tohan, and Venedia.
And I get advantage on dex saves as long as I'm not blinded.
Okay.
Deafened or deafened. 21.
I got 15.
Wait, add 3 to those guys.
Oh,
3
I
on
got it.
save.
I have 18.
24.
10.
18, 10. Okay, let me figure out what his spellcasting is Okay, everyone except for Valk. Half of 5d8. Oh, yep. Let's see. 8, 2 is 10, 16, 17. 17 and 8 is 24, 25. So 25 damage, Valk, and you guys each take 12.
And I take half of that, right? Because I'm raging.
Yes, so your damage is halved.
Sweet.
Zach, I have a question.
Okay.
With control flames, when I can extinguish flames within a 5-foot cube, could I have done that around Valk, or is it something that's more like if fire were like set around him or something?
You can do that around Valk when it's your turn.
Okay.
That's essentially how that would work in this case. Or you could have said like if you knew this was going to happen, you could have set a reaction to do so.
Got it.
Like if you walk into a room and you see a bunch of fire spitting out, you could say like, "Oh, if the fire spits out, I'm gonna trigger that effect."
And that's the same for any kind of like at will, like thaumaturgy or anything like that.
Yeah, it's got like, unless it says that it's one reaction, then you have to assume that it's either an action or a bonus action.
Yeah, no, it's one action for sure.
So yeah, if it says an action, it's got to be on your turn.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Vanadius should only take half damage too, I think, from fire damage.
I would only have half damage. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
infernal resistance, but I already I got the save, so.
Yeah, so you still take half of that. So you take 6.
Like quarter damage, yeah.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's fortunate for you guys. That's pretty gnarly. But you are.
And I'm sorry. And how much was the damage?
Total damage was 25 for a non-success. So half of that would round down to 12. So half
like
of
6
that for you would be 6. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
But you are all right now standing in a wall of fire, and it is Vanadia's turn now, because the other guy just went.
Right. This wall like exists.
Yep, it's permanent, kind of just pretty much in a circle around him. We can assume that he just kind of swept fire in a big circle.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to make a. Can I like break a hole in that circle with a 5-foot cube? Control flames.
Yeah. Yeah. So like
Cool.
pretty much enough space for any one person to not be affected by the flames.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna cast that right in front of me, so that the 3 of us can like break through that wall of flames.
Okay. So yeah, a hole kind of appears in front of you, where in the flames, like a break across this wall, and it's, there's still fire running above it, so it just looks like a door in this wall of flame.
Right.
All right. So that's an action. Did you have anything else you would like to do?
I don't know. I thought of doing an action surge, but I think I'm gonna save it.
Okay. Arianth. Down here by the rock. Just a little bit. Can you guys see that map okay, or should I zoom it in more like this?
It looks pretty good.
Okay. It's kind of hard to split the difference because what I see on my screen is a little bit bigger than what
there
you
we go.
guys have.
Sorry, I had my thing off.
Oh, okay.
I had my mic off. Sorry. How tall is the statue, Zach?
He's about probably, we'll say 20 feet tall or so.
And how wide?
About 10, maybe. I mean, yeah, somewhere 6, 7.
All right. If I was to take a 5-foot my 5-foot cube of earth that I use for mold earth from out from under him, would that like kind of take him off balance?
I mean, yeah, you could try to like pull it out from underneath one of his feet or something and
Yeah,
like,
I
trip
want to
him?
take that. I want to take that earth, move it out from under him, and then put it in front of them as a way to smother more flames to give them more room to be able to move and not be in the flames.
Okay,
Mm.
cool. Yeah, so let's see. I'm gonna give him.
And that's a cantrip, so I just do it at will.
I'm gonna let him make a dexterity save to see if he stays on his feet. He actually rolled a 5. His plus 1's a 6, but that's still pretty shitty. So yeah, assuming that everything goes exactly as you just stated, and he trips and kind of is caught, falls down backwards again, we'll say he is again prone.
And then I take that earth and then put it to expand Valadia's original area where she has opened up a fire.
Yep, so we'll say you can expand it kind of thinly because it's a 5 foot by 5 foot by 5 foot area. So we'll say that you can make this a 1 foot wide area at some span going, down this wall of fire and kind of extinguishing it, holding it back, as it were. It does seem to kind of be slowly dying down a little bit now. The wall, that is. But it's still present. It's like it sort of flared up when it first came up, but now it's just steadily, slowly shrinking. But yeah, you guys are all kind of on the same side of the wall as this guy's knocked over body, we'll say. Oops, trying to get him to move. There. Why will you not move there, mister? Okay, well I guess he's there, but he's knocked over. Velk, is he back yet? Yes, you are back, Buck.
Yeah, sorry. So there's quite a bit that I want to try here. So it's kind of a game mechanics question.
Okay.
The fire hurt me a lot. So I was kind of hoping I could do a lay on hands to myself to heal for some, but will I burn my action completely? I won't be able to attack this round?
That is
If I
correct.
do that?
Yep.
Yeah. That took a chunk out of me. So I'm going to do that to try and stay in the fight. That's my turn.
Okay. Tohan.
I'm gonna do well. If it's prone, I don't need to attack it recklessly, so I'm just gonna take it because I already get advantage on it. So I'll just take a couple swipes at it again. All right, yeah. 26 to hit, which I know does. So, 15 damage on the first attack. And a 23 to hit, which I also know does, and that is 17 more damage. So 32 total.
Okay, so at this point, when you swing the axe down, which part of him do you hit?
Oh, I'm aiming for its head.
Okay, so a large crack actually appears in his helmet, and flame kind of like trickles out of it, like a little smoke. It's like a slightly darker color. And,
Do I need to make a con save for hitting it again?
Yes. Constitution or 1d6, right?
That's a 10.
Alright, so yeah, DC on it's 15, so yes, 1d6. So you take 3 fire damage.
Halved. So 1?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Like when you hit it, it cracked and like burned your knuckles a little bit or something. Let's see, so we're back to the bad guy here. What task has brought the followers of the Dark Three here?
Excuse-moi.
Is he asking us that with his turn?
Not with his turn. He's just saying it,
Oh,
like as he's getting up, because he's prone, so he's standing up again.
anyone want to answer him? Because I will.
You're the one that said you followed Merkel.
Yeah. So we need the magic stick that's inside of you so that we can kill a Lich Lord.
The rod shall never be yours.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We'll just keep knocking you down, I guess.
Let's see. Cool. He can do this as a bonus action. So his right after he says the rod will never be yours, the blade in his hand erupts again with like extra flame coming off from it now. There's like red flame and then there's like a whole layer of like green flame going on the outside of it. Yeah, which gives you the indication that he's like, it's like powering up or something, I guess. Let's see. Venadia.
Cool. So is he back on full balance now at
Yes,
this point?
he stood back up again.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to use my action surge, and I'm going to roll 5 attacks and see what happens. That's a miss. 20.
That's a hit. Yep. That is target AC.
16.
That's a miss. And
That's a
another
miss. And
one more.
a 19.
That is a miss.
All right, so that's one hit with the scimitar.
Ting, 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 ting.
4 damage.
Okay. Do you have a magical weapon?
I do not.
Okay. He does not appear to take damage from it. I don't know if you were present when we did that one at first, but he is not. He seems to be immune to non-magical damage.
Got it.
Okay. Still no Dave or Bill. Going back to the top, Valk.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Arianth. My bad.
Yeah,
Skipped you.
that's okay. How close is he to the cube of area that the earth I removed?
He's standing right behind it right now. Like, it's sort of to the left of where Valk is here, the blue token. So, like, we'll say, like, this cube right here is...
Alright, so I'm gonna cast Erupting Earth again, and I'm gonna try to will it so that as I'm like obviously trying to get him with bludgeoning damage, I'm also trying to get him to fall back into the area of Earth that is undone, if possible.
Okay. What's the spell save DC on it again?
14.
14, okay. And he's still at 0. He got a 2. Alright, so roll me an Arcana check to see if you were able to shape the spell in such a way that it activates and at the right angle and stuff to knock him into this thing.
Alright.
And
Alright, hold on, I gotta
roll damage as well, yep.
I got advantage of that, so just give me a minute. I got a 24
Okay.
on my first.
Yeah, so you're definitely going to be able to then.
And then a 19.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take the 24.
Yeah.
And hold on, let me just get back and roll for damage.
So this blast of earth kind of erupts from behind him and hits him. He's now falling kind of with one leg 5 feet down into this hole in the earth.
And then it'll be 14 damage.
Okay. Let's see. Alright, now, if there's nothing else, Valk.
He's knocked over again?
He is. I suppose we would consider him prone still because he's got one leg in the ground essentially, so he's like 2/3 of the way prone.
Okay. 2 attacks with the dagger, and if I hit at least once, I'm going to apply the branding smite.
Okay.
So here goes nothing. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss.
Okay. Yep. Tink tink. Just hitting this flaming stone. Oh, and I'm sorry, Venadia, and now you, Val. You would also both have to
Con
make
save, yeah.
saves. Yep. I forgot to have you do it. On
Sure. Sure, get the 20 on that roll. Okay.
At least you didn't burn your hands.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Nick, if you could just roll me a con save whenever, that'd be awesome. And let's see. Tohan.
Tohan's going to attack him recklessly.
Okay.
And he's going to miss on the first swing. And a 23 to hit in the second.
Yep.
So he's going to do 14 damage.
Okay, at this point,
And I got a 10 on my con save.
Okay. So 1d6 for you. 4 points of fire damage you take, so have that too. At this point, you start to see more cracks appearing in his armor where you guys hits have been landing. It seems like every time that you land another hit, now another crack appears and a little more flame pours out. And it starts to have the effect of like when a lantern's wick gets turned up too high, and it sort of goes from being bright to being just sort of like this kind of wobbly cast shadow. And he looks at the three of you. He's going to use his multi-attack. Just one big swipe across each of you from where he lies. He's at disadvantage because he is prone. That's probably not going to be a hit. 14. Tohan, 14 does not hit you, I'm guessing?
No, but I attacked recklessly. I didn't realize he was prone, so he gets advantage, so it probably would have just been a straight roll.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that affected it or not.
Well, when the first roll was like 11 or something. Let's see. 18 plus 4, 22. Velk. Or no, I'm sorry. Venadia, does a 22 hit you? I think you're muted, Nick.
Farah is muted.
Sorry, guys. Had to step away for a second.
All good. Two quick things. I need you to make a con save for your last time that you set off attacks on this guy. Con
That's
save
an all right. That's an 8.
Okay, so 1d6 fire damage. You're gonna take 6 fire damage from that, halved for your
Right.
your ability. And second, does a 22 hit on his turn?
Does a 22 hit? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
hits.
So let's see. With his magnetic flame sword, let me find its damage on that. Bloop. One, 6, 7, 6 and 7, 8, 13. So 13 slashing damage, and 2 more fire damage you take. So you can half the fire damage. That's 1. And
And how much slashing damage? I'm sorry.
13.
Okay.
And then it will be your turn.
Before my turn, can I do my Hellish Rebuke?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. Um, so there's a Dex 14 save on that.
So 21.
Okay.
So it's takes
So
half
you
damage on that?
take half damage on 2d10.
Okay.
So hang on. So that was 9. So I guess that's 5.
Alright. And yeah, so you kind of when when the fire affects you, or when the flame sword passes through and the flames sear you, you kind of throw a hand up and just instinctually blast this guy back. And he takes a little
Totally.
damage from it.
Got to fight fire with fire, you know.
Sometimes. Ariane.
Is he still prone?
He is still prone right now.
Well, wait, Zach, would it still be my turn? Because that was my reaction,
Oh,
right?
I'm sorry. Yes, I apologize.
All right. So,
That must not be high enough. That's what it is.
all right. So I'm just gonna do my normal 3 swipe here.
Okay. I'll be a nice DM and remind you if you're using non-magical weapons, then it seems to not affect him.
That's true.
I am a kind and benevolent DM.
Yeah, I just don't have much to bring to bat right now. I'm not really sure.
Any racials or ranger spells?
Would your
My-
cups work on him to help prone him or anything?
I mean, he needs to kind of be incapacitated to put the cuffs on him.
Well, the cuffs, I would say you does it unless it specifies that in there. You could
I'll
make a
s-
melee
I'll-
attack to try.
Yeah, I had wondered about that. I did read. Where is it? It says you can use an action to place these shackles on an incapacitated creature.
Okay.
The shackles adjust to fit a creature of small to large size.
So yeah, I would say I'll let you make an attack action on him with the shackles if you want to try. Dexterity.
Would that be with any modifier on
Yeah,
that?
dex modifier to try to attack him. I'm assuming because you're trying to be kind of nimble and snatch it
Okay.
out there.
Give that a try. That is a 10.
Was that with the Monty?
So yeah, you kind of go to do this as the hand is coming back around. You try to snap this manacle down on it, and it seems like he moves preternaturally fast. He just sort of like blips his hand out of the way, all Neo in the Matrix style.
Damn.
Alright.
All right.
Anything else or no?
I think that's my turn now.
Okay. Arianth.
All right. When I made him prone again, did that kind of snap him out of getting his sword ready?
His sword just sort of did the thing. Then you knocked him prone, so it was already kind of activated.
Okay.
Yeah, like the flames haven't really. There's still the two-tone flames on there, and he's got one leg down in this 5-foot hole, up to about his knee or so, or thigh maybe.
All right. I don't know if this is gonna help, but I'm gonna use my mold earth spell again and take another 5-foot cube chunk out from under him to prone him even more, and then I'm gonna take that earth and put it and then drop it directly on him, aiming more for his sword to smother out the flames.
Okay. I will have you do another Arcana check. Because of the moving nature of his sword, we will say this is probably like a DC 18. It's probably fairly difficult to put his sword out because he's sort of flailing it around. But I know you do get advantage.
I got advantage, so let me. My first roll, I got.
What's up, Dave? Long time no see.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Roll initiative, by the way.
Yeah, I picked the fight with a statue. Roll initiative.
Oh, so I didn't hold on. It didn't come up for me what I got on my last one, but I got a 7, and then I got, I think, a 13.
Yep, 13 and a 7 I got. Okay, so you're able to kind of dump the earth onto the sword, but he's, like I said, he's sort of shuffling the sword back and forth, so it just sort of kind of smothers it temporarily, but it comes back up to rate just like it was. He is, however, about... I'm assuming that you're taking it out from under the foot that's, like, in the hole.
Yeah, between that and a little more of his back just to prone him more.
Okay, so yeah, he's sort of slipping down farther into this deeper hole now, and slowly being buried sort of by all this dirt. What manner of battle is this?
Whatever works.
Yeah, whatever's clever, right? Val.
Exactly.
Okay, so this guy's prone, right? So if I went to attack twice, do I get advantage on each roll so I can roll 4 times?
Yep.
All right, that's what I'm going to do with the dagger. And when I hit the first time, hopefully I hit once with these 4 rolls. I'm going to pop Branding Smite. So let's go, motherfucking god damn it, you missed again. Okay, fucking finally, that's a hit. I'm going to do damage for this one, and then I'll work on the second one.
Okay.
So that's 6 damage plus, come on, Branding Smite, you mother flipper. Spells. Okay. 8 more damage, radiant.
Okay. So 6 and 8. And the Jahamdeth dagger is a magical dagger as well, so that counts. So 14. Alright, go ahead and roll your second attack set.
That's a 20. Just hits him. And that's another 8 damage.
Now at this point, these cracks in his armor are starting to appear all over, and it's like his armor's like shaking, and he's like, "What have you done? You are not worthy of the flame."
Is he crumbly now?
Yeah, he's like, well, he's still alive, but he's getting crumbly. Tohan.
Oh, Tolan's going to do the same thing he's done the last few times. If he's prone, I'm not going to attack recklessly if I already have advantage. So.
Yeah. Murder lizard gonna murder.
Mm-hmm.
Kick his ass!
DTM down to murder. All right. All right. First attack does 20 damage. Second attack, which will also hit. If I can get it. There we go. Yeah. Does 17 more damage. 37 damage.
Okay, yeah. So on this final axe hit, this guy brings up this flaming shield, and the axe comes down on it. We're all full blown freaking over the head chop, and just the body parts and armor just fly out into every direction, and there's like a big gout of flame. And I need the 3 of you to make one final Constitution saving throw.
Son of a bitch.
Or take...
Alright. Nope.
Or else you each take 6 more fire damage from this guy.
Dirty 20!
3. I'm gonna take 3. How's that sound?
Valk, you passed all 3 of those con checks from taking damage from him. Didn't
This
you?
bitch can't burn me. I've got that Merkul ring, son. I've got that Jaham Death Dagger.
I got a 24. How much damage? I'm sorry.
6.
So
Con save, you got a 24.
half
You're
and
fine.
half
Yeah.
again. Okay.
Yeah.
Ouch. Did another damage to me.
Do you smell barbecue? All right, so yeah, this guy he crumbles or explodes apart, and his sword kind of lands on the ground, and his shield lands split into 2 pieces, and the shield turns into ash and blows away, and the sword sort of starts to crumble a little bit. And as it burns away, in the part that was the blade, as it burns away the soil around it and everything, and there's still kind of little gouts of flame coming out of the ground, you see a shining rod, and the entire rod is still ignited, but this flame is like a cool blue. It just doesn't seem to be putting off any heat at all.
Can I start walking towards it, asking Reggie which part of the rod it is?
Yes, he says, "Oh, there it is. It's the rod of pure flame."
I grab the rod. I grab the rod. I'm closer to him.
Where the hilt of the sword lies, you see what essentially appears to be a much smaller version of said sword. It's just looks like a long sword with several glyphs carved into it, and the sword also possesses this kind of cool blue flame.
I ask Balk to please give me the piece of the rod.
Yeah, I give the elf the stick.
Thank you, Valk.
Like, unquestionably. I'm like, here, elf, here's the stick you need. Put your thing together.
Thank you, Valk. And before I add it to it, I ask Reggie what its qualities are and what I can expect from it.
Okay. Hopefully, got my page all marked out.
You said rod of pure flame?
Yes. On D&D Beyond, this is going to have the same effects as the Staff of Fire. But it is a rod. It's basically the Staff of Fire with a reskin. So,
Now, is this a once-a-day thing like the rest of it, or?
So here, I'll read you the description to it. While you hold this... Oh, hey, it's a Bill. Give me 1 second. I'll get him in, and then I will read the description. Hi, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
So, on cue,
Hey.
as soon as the first combat ends, Guilfoyle climbs out of whichever bush he was hiding in, or maybe Tohan's backpack still.
Gohan doesn't have any stuff anymore. It just has a spot where there's like a blanket, nice sleep. You should
Guys,
just
I don't know what
not
happened to
let
the
it-
thousands of dollars worth of thousands of gold worth of jewelry we had. It was in there, I swear.
Oh, don't worry. It's just all on my character sheet now.
So, Jen, the rod has the following properties. You have resistance to fire damage while you hold this staff, which means all fire damage you take would be halved. The staff has
Now,
10...
I'm sorry to interrupt. Would that be innate once I include it into Reggie?
Yes, because you would be holding it. Like,
Yeah,
if you,
okay.
that way, if you're holding Reggie, you're essentially holding the rods.
Okay, I just didn't know if I needed to initiate it or anything.
Nope. And we'll say Reggie kind of attunes to it for you, since you're already attuned to him. He sort of acts as like a magical conduit. The staff
Sweet.
has 10 charges. While holding it, you can use an action to expend 1 or more of its charges to cast one of the following spells from it using your spell save DC. Burning Hands, 1 charge. Fireball, 3 charges. Or Wall of Fire, 4 charges. The staff regains 1d6 plus 4 expended charges daily at dawn. If you expend the last charge, roll a d20 of 1. The staff blackens, crumbles into cinders, and is destroyed.
Oh.
Fireball is awesome.
How do charges work, by the way? Do they, like, is it like you get those charges back after 1 day of use, or
Yeah,
is
like,
it...
it says the
Long
staff regains 1d6 plus 4 expended charges daily at dawn. So, like, every day in game time, essentially, like at dawn, you could roll 1d6
I can roll
plus 4. Yep.
And that'll give me how many charges I get.
How many more charges you get added to it? Yep, and then it has a max of 10.
Okay.
Is that for any weapon with or any magical item with charges? Because I was reading about my ring.
Yeah, it's they all have different amounts that they charge, but some of them are daily, some of them are per long rest. There's different like kind of variances on it, but most of them are
All right.
pretty much daily.
Thank you kindly.
Yep.
I don't know what mechanics you want to use because I didn't see when it charges, but in any case.
Yeah, that's kind of weird because it is I think that is a 4th edition item, so there may be some flubbery going on. But we'll make it work.
Whatever you think is fair. I'm cool with it.
So,
Also,
yeah.
I look to Arianth and I say, thank goodness we have another part of the stick, and soon we will be able to defeat the Lich King. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me there.
I raise an eyebrow and say, thank you for giving it to me and for all of your help.
Not a problem. I'm happy to help. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Excuse me.
All right. And now Guilfoyle climbs out of the backpack. This is occurring, and suddenly a voice that sounds just like this thing that you guys just fought kind of appears on the wind, and it gets real warm around you for a minute, and he says, "I will not be defeated so easily." And this is when... Boy, I hope I can do this. This worked in the rehearsals, I swear. These
Oh
rocks,
man, he's highlighting the rocks.
yeah, these rocks begin to suddenly burst up out of the ground. So what would you guys like to do as these rocks are getting larger and larger, and they are slowly kind of coming to close?
Yeah, I think we should get
Oh
the
crap, I
fuck
was
out
not
of
paying
here.
attention.
Like,
Shit.
really quickly, should just like
Run, run, run. Grab the sword
up.
and run.
go
Okay.
like
North, quick,
that north, whatever's up right now.
Okay.
That way.
Alright.
wherever's
Ah.
open, for God's sake.
All right.
I
I'm
grab-
running.
By the way, I grabbed that sword.
You guys are really lucky because I forgot I was going to do that during the battle. That was totally going to be going on at the same time, but I'm a forgetful DM, so you guys got lucky.
Well, I'm thankful.
You guys are able to kind of escape out of this area as these rocks smash together, and it just looks like there's just churning earth coming up out of this, and like a gout of lava comes up out of the top of it and begins kind of rolling down this newly formed and very, very quickly formed like mini volcano. So I'm would you guys like to go back to your camp where you guys left the orcs at the White Dragon? Or was
If
there...
it does not involve being crushed by rocks, yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a cave with like undead in it that we were supposed to look at, or no?
Oh wait, yeah, isn't there? Isn't there a dungeon?
There is a cave nearby. You were not able to get specific directions to the cave. The bugbears told you that it was near this statue somewhere.
What happened to the bugbears? Where are they?
They sort of like when you agreed to go explore, you left them to their own devices, but they had told you that they were going to all go back to their separate tribes. And the hobgoblin had told you that, you know, as far as he was concerned, you guys were pretty much on the same side against the undead, and that you wouldn't be bothered by any of the tribes in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you guys like to search for the cave, or would you like to head back to the camp?
Can we get a rest, like a short one at least?
Sure.
Or would we need...
You guys can
I
kind
mean-
of.
I don't know if you guys need one.
There is
if you don't-
like an
Yeah.
open lava flow near you. So
I mean, I'm
wouldn't-
good.
wouldn't go too
I
long,
could cook
but
something near the lava. I mean, Guilfoyle's okay, so I think we're all okay.
You guys have like a
Absolutely.
chair.
There we go.
I'm mostly okay. I wouldn't mind like a.
Well, why don't
You know,
we
like a
move away
healing
from the
hand.
lava a little bit and then take one?
Okay.
Is Maggie
There's-
with them at this point?
Yes. Yeah. My assumption was that Maggie was locked into some sort of a prayer or something when this
Gotcha.
stuff had been happening. She stopped to go do a prayer, and then all this occurred.
So if folks are, I mean, she can heal folks if that's what's needed. I don't know if you guys are trying to get spell slots back.
Well, short rests don't do anything for me, so I'll basically use that time to add the new rod to my to Reggie and confer with him on learning more about it and everything.
Okay. Yeah, like you plug it in and it literally makes like a little like I don't have a good noise for it. Like it kind of goes like a ding ding, like a Windows loading noise when you actually like Reggie absorbs this rod. So refresh me. You now have 3 of the rods. Is that correct?
Yes, I have this one. I have the iron rod, or hold on, I have it written down somewhere. Sorry,
Yeah.
I have the oh yeah, here we are. The rod of healing and the rod of immovable.
Immobility. Yeah, that's right.
Immobility. There we go. I
Um,
was.
So yeah, Reggie says this is so exciting. It's as close as I ever got to the completed rod.
There's 7 parts altogether, right? Plus Reggie.
Yep. Yeah, Reggie
Sorry.
functions as a sort of containment device.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
So as you guys are kind of resting, um, you hear some rustling in the bushes nearby, and out steps an old man. Let's see if I still have my image. He's now kind of like, sorry, bud. He turns around and says, my curious friend, be wary, and, not all the old gods are dead. He's wagging his finger now at Guilfoyle. He says, some linger in the shadows. Your colleagues will betray you. Sorry, your former colleagues. And he kind of looks around at the rest of you. And please put that back, he says.
Perfect.
Now he turns and he solemnly now kind of looks at Tohan, and he puts his hands on his shoulders and he says, "Slayer of the Avatar Bane, though you know him as Agos, yet he shall not die by your hand. You will face great pain, but shall be vindicated. Oh, and you'd most likely want to know that your parents are alive. They're living outside the Anorak Desert, as I understand it. Coincidentally, the old gods you all seek, one of them lives there as well. Marum of the Great Spear. Small world, eh?" He says, "Malakani wishes to turn Faerun into his own realm of the undead. He must be stopped at any cost. All you know and love will be gone if his will becomes reality." He says, "The remaining druids of Nuladzar are hiding in Grimwood, but the army of the dead is slowly making their way to the elven settlements. The druids must be rescued, and Mexa must be captured. A ritual may be performed on him and his sister, and there may be balance restored yet. If Malakani wins, the world as we know it is over." "Well, this is quite good," he says.
You told us a lot of things, but you didn't tell us your name.
"Oh, dreadfully sorry. My name is Elminster of Shadowdale."
I bring forth Reggie so he can speak to him. I say, "Reggie, this man says he knows you and quite well, and that you're his friend."
Reggie says, "Ah, yes, he is a dear old friend. Hello, Elminster." Elminster says, "Well, hello, Reggie. How's
Can I make
life
some
as
kind
a
of
stick?"
check it to see if I ever heard of Elminster before? Or...
You can do a history check, yeah. I will say DC 12.
Everyone's heard of Elminster.
That's a natural one.
You're like, never heard of you. You're touching me, old man.
Elminster, is that Spanish for the minster?
Did he say Agos is a avatar of?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Bane.
Yep,
So
he said Avatar of Bane. Although
Avatar.
I will put a caveat there because my notes aren't always great, and I have a note next to it that says Baal ? So I may have to retcon that later. Just be aware. But it's one of the two of the Dark Three.
Hey, we always DMs always have to retcon.
There's just too many fucking lore details to keep up with, honestly. There's so much. But yes, he actually said, he said, though you know him as Agos, after he said, and he actually called Tohan the Slayer of the Avatar of Bane.
That's interesting.
I look at him, I say, avatars can get slain.
Yeah, didn't we just do that? Wasn't that
Did we?
He says,
Well, that's what we did to make you an avatar.
You just got slain like yesterday.
You
You're an
must-
avatar.
No. I was slain and became the avatar.
you must
I'm saying
understand
after you become.
an avatar is merely the worldly presence of a god's will here on the material plane. It says on other planes of existence, their will may take very different forms. It says, for example, on the plane of limbo, everything is very chaotic and wild, and reality manifests itself based on sheer willpower. That is to say, if a group of adventurers were to find themselves in a place like limbo, then they could manifest that which they will, which usually would probably be a piece of dirt to stand on, so that they stop floating around like bumbling idiots. Although I don't know how many of them actually think of that. You could proceed through the entire realm that way. But here in the material plane, yes, the laws of death still apply, even for the avatars of the gods.
You said
Fair
you know
enough.
everything, right? And you've seen much.
Well, I haven't seen everything, but I've seen probably pretty damn close.
Have you seen a cave around here?
Yes, it's by that statue over there. Well, where the statue was, I should say.
Is that under the rocks at this point, or what?
Yeah, there's no visible spot on the map. But like he would be able to literally point you in the direction of a cave.
And it's still open.
What was the conversation between him and Reggie that was about to take place?
To kind of sum it up, it seems like they are both familiar with each other and have some sort of a kinship. If like we were to eloquate the whole conversation, it would be something like, "So how's life as a stick? How are you doing? Well, searching for this rod. Yeah, that's what you were doing last time I saw you. Yeah,
All right,
Good luck
but
with
they
that
were
being
like generally
turned into a
happy
stick
to, but like Reggie was generally happy to see him, and
Yeah, absolutely.
okay,
And I mean, he's they're still
that's
kind
really
of
what I was trying to ascertain.
maybe chatting a little bit as they walk. Like Reggie might even be chatting with him without your knowledge because he's a sentient
Yeah.
magic item.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey guys, I unfortunately have to hop off,
Okay, no worries.
Understood, man.
but I'll see you guys next week.
Have a romantic dinner.
I'll be
Have a good
around.
time. Have a good night.
Get
Thank
some.
Hi, Heather.
Get it.
See ya.
So as you guys are kind of conversing with Elminster, a message comes over the sending stone from Ashnak. Ashnak, he tells you that the search and rescues have been going well. They've recovered around 100 or so of the soldiers that initially departed from Waterdeep with you, and although they were a little bit hesitant at first, Ashnak and his orcs were able to convince them to return to the camp with them. So they are en route and/or back. He has also recovered, he tells you, around 200 orcs from the surrounding area of these little pockets of orcs that have been kind of surviving out here in the wilds. And he tells you that the bugbears and the hobgoblin have departed from the area. They have seen no sign of the green dragon dagger Panish Paul. And that he has sent scouts out towards Cormier and Sembia as he has seen signs of battles occurring to the east of where you guys are. Stand by. Request an advisement.
So we've learned nothing about where Malakani is, right?
Correct. Well, you saw Malakani, or at
Right.
least what you think he was Malakani, when the initial kind of tiff with the dragon happened after you guys crashed. Like, it seemed like Malakani was leading a troop of forces. Then the Nyogi also showed up, and the dragon showed up, and it seems like all three forces sort of were clashing.
That's right, and we kind of hightailed it out of
Yeah,
there
'cause-
on the white dragon.
Maggie had sort of convinced the dragon that maybe she was being set up by the Lich, and the dragon sort of started to understand that that might be true.
I guess Maggie's recommendation is that they kind of, avoid direct confrontation, like pick off troops where they can, but for the most part, keep to the trees.
Got
And
it. Guerrilla tactics, some real shake wherever shit. I'm on it.
yeah, because gotta. So yeah, Maggie asks the group, like, how. Well, I don't know. Wait, so I'm still trying to process what that dude said about like what we need to He said there are druids of Nolidzar that, or he's talking about the twins.
He said that there were remaining druids that were from Nolidzar, from the town where the twins were from, that had held up in Grimwood Forest, which is, of course, where Arianth is from. Far in the east, like where you guys started out. However, he said that Malakani's forces were encroaching and slowly beginning to kind of approach the elven settlements. It was slow going because they were not able to get through the magical forest as quickly as they would like march over like some plains or a swamp or something. It's the elves, the forest is fighting on the elf side essentially.
Alright, so these druids in my homeland are important to us, and they're slowly being encouraged on it, along with my people by a lot of forces by Malakani.
Yes.
But there's really no way for us to get to them, is there?
Well, I mean, you have a flying white dragon ship.
Yeah.
How long would it take us to travel, just out of curiosity, on our flying dragon trip?
That depends on whether or not you get attacked by a green dragon or not, again. But,
Oh yeah,
I mean,
there is that.
As the crow flies, we'll say that it would probably be like a day-long flight, maybe day and a half, tops.
Plus having to deal with a dragon.
Like, I picture flight being much slower than, like, an airplane. It's like, flap, flap, flap,
Yeah.
I don't know. Plus, it's a living animal. Like, well, this one's not, but, like, regular flying creatures, it would probably take about a day for something to get there.
What about it, like if we did last time with like Tohan and Valk helping to pump its wings more?
Yeah, that would probably shrink the time a little bit. Like if everybody was to kind of help.
Are we still gonna? What was our reason for going to this cave? To get the trust of the bugbears and the other guy?
He had just told you that there seemed to be some undead coming from a cave nearby.
Oh, I thought he wanted us to like clear it out to help us like fight against the Lich here.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
I mean, we
Well,
could go in and check it out, and then maybe just like mold earth over the cave or something like that.
I asked Reggie real quick if he senses anything that is important to us at this cave, or that if there's a good reason to go check it out.
He says. So you guys are about 100 meters or so from the mouth of this cave, and it's a pretty clear, open cave on the side of this hill. And Elminster says, "That's the cave you're looking for, I believe. I don't think you'll find what you're looking for in there." And Reggie at this point says, "There's a bear in the cave."
Oh. Well, that doesn't. Is it an undead bear?
I don't detect any undead. Just seems to be a bear.
All right, let's peace out.
Yeah.
Let's just go back to the camp then, right?
There's a cave with a bear in it. I was expecting a bunch of undead. Let's go.
Alright, so if you guys head away from the cave, just, as you guys are cresting where the cave is falling out of sight, a bear does kind of walk out of the cave, and it stands up and just goes, waves. Tohan,
I wave back at the bear.
Tohan, you kind of catch it over your shoulder.
Cool. I cast Speak with Animals.
It says, "Are you the ones making all the noise in my forest?"
That is us. Sorry, friend bear. But we're looking for a cave with walking skeletons that we're supposed to take care of.
He says, they've gone east. They left about a day ago.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. And I throw him some jerky and tell everyone what he said, basically.
Okay.
Also an orange, because because the jerky might be running low. Sorry, I've been eating in the backpack again.
All right, so the bear kind of chews up the jerky and nods its head in thanks, heads back towards its cave. Probably go back to sleep, whatever bears do in their spare time. Tohan, you get a good point for feeding the bear.
Nice.
Yay, good points. Let's see. So you guys head back to your camp, and yeah, as you get back, this small camp, what was maybe 20 or 30 people, has now evolved into sort of this miniature tent city in just a couple of hours. It seems like the members of your party who were in the original crash landing have mostly been recovered. A few have been injured, but are being taken care of for the most part. They've got a little medical tent set up, like triage, with there's several orcs that are all dressed in nurse uniforms. Like, come here! Like jabbing people with needles and shit. Ah! Like, these frail little elf and humans that are like all scared of these giant orc nurses just strikes me as a funny image. And as you get back, Ashnak says, "Alright, so far as I can tell, this war's happening on a couple of fronts. Malakani's moved his forces both east and west while expanding to the north. His forces are on the edge of Anarok, the desert. They're on the edges of Grimwood. He has a core force still remaining in Terabir, according to my scouts. His main force has assembled on the fields near Cormyr and Sembia, several miles to the east of here. It seems that he is trying to wage war on all the local communities to bolster his ranks. You see, it's sort of his recruitment policy. Well, you get it. He's a fucking lich. He's undead. He kills them and takes their bodies. Fucking voodoo shit. I don't like it. So as far as I see it, our military options are thus. We can deploy on a retrieval mission where we depart for your next, hibbity-jibbity magic spot where that Merum fella is that I heard y'all talking about. We'll say, because your DM again has indiscretion.
Sure.
He says, we can try and cut off this siege that's going down up towards Grimwood. Try and rescue them druids. We can try and help the humans so that Malakani doesn't have as many forces. Or we can take the fight to him. We're willing to deploy however you decide. You guys have been great independent contractors. Real Blackwater ops. The real deal. What would you like us to do?
How far away is this other dude we're supposed to find?
So, from where you are, the closest place would be Cormyr Sembia. That's just a little bit to the east of you. Let's see, do I have the Sword Coast map on here still? I think I do.
Because Aranith, with cold logic, is proposing that if this... I mean, clearly she's going to want to go towards Grimwood because it's kill two birds, since it's her homeland and there's druids there that will help us on our quest anyway. But if there's also someone along the way that'll be helpful, it would make sense if the party agrees to maybe go see what that's about too.
Do we know about like the war wizards of Cormyr and everything?
I mean, you could make a history check.
Okay. $19 for Guilfoyle. Wow.
Okay, so
Hey.
yeah, you would know something about the history of Cormyr and Sembia. I mean,
Okay.
like in this case, I would say that, knowing that you probably know more than I do.
Probably about as much as I remember from 15 years ago, reading
Yeah.
about Cormyr and the Dale Inns and Sembia. I'll suggest Guilfoyle will suggest them that there is an actual kingdom of Cormyr and that they have a small army of wizards that might be able to help us. So there's actual population there, where some of the other areas might be less populated. So we might be able to stop him from getting too many new recruits.
And now you've given me more fuel, because if you guys choose not to do that,
Yeah.
Malakani might have a whole bunch of wizards on his side. Not that he wouldn't have anyways.
Well, again, Erin definitely wants to head towards Mirkwood, obviously, but she's willing to stop at this spot, and as long as everybody else agrees to that, we eventually make our way to our homeland, since it's in our best interest of our quest anyway.
Yeah, and similarly, Ashnak reports that there are forces assembling in the areas of Chisenta as well, Maggie. I don't know if Dave is back yet or not.
Forces of
Malakani's undead are assembling all throughout, essentially, the lands of the east.
Gotcha.
Pretty much anything east of Cormyr Sembia in a north-south line has some occupation of undead in it at this point, it seems. They haven't made their way to the Sword Coast yet, but they're on their way. They're trying.
Since Volk's charge is to,
Your mic is off.
I swear to God, I just turned it on. That's wild. Anyways, so Volk's charge is to help the elf put the magic stick together. Whatever the elf needs to do to make that happen, Volk is on board.
I guess Maggie might check in with the Waterdeep folks and see if there's any progress on putting together an army that might come east.
Okay. So you send a message to who in Waterdeep specifically? Like the L'Oreal Silverhand, the one that's in charge of Waterdeep, or the Vajra Blackstaff?
Yeah, I'd say L'Oreal.
Okay. So when you contact her, she tells you that in Waterdeep, due to the recent flooding of Undermountain, many creatures have risen up into the streets, and it has sort of gridlocked their military at this point. They're using them essentially as a national guard in Waterdeep to fight these creatures that are coming out of this flooded dungeon. They're all just popping up through sewer grates, like these god-awful creatures from many levels down in Undermountain, harassing townfolk.
Have we gotten a yay or nay from the Hobgoblin General as to whether he's going to help us against the Lich?
Yeah, he said that he considers himself an ally against the Lich, or he considers you guys allies against the Lich.
So could we suggest, like, while we're doing our own thing, like, they be the ones to help out with the forces around here? If everybody thinks that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does everybody think that's a good idea, or?
Yeah, it works.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds fine.
Okay, so yeah, Ashnak nods and he kind of he calls over like a messenger, and he has you write down orders for the Hobgoblin, or a proposal for the Hobgoblin to kind of monitor the undead forces. So you guys are fairly near to the Cormyr Sembia battle lines that seem to have been drawn between the Cormyrian army and the undead army. So are you trying to send the Hobgoblins there? Like, that's the nearest spot of any, like, direct conflict with the undead army, other than little spot forces that are kind of coming through? Or are you just trying to have them patrol the area in general to keep it safe?
I'm just trying to think of the best. I mean, would it make sense to have them engage them to give us an opportunity to get through to get to the wizards?
Well, I think we could fly over them either way, but I don't know if it makes sense for them to attack if we don't have like the force to take them down. Maybe it'd be better to have them do like a retreating action and just like clear towns in their path and.
Yeah.
Basically, try to patrol and like keep general calm in the area and an eye on what's going on everywhere.
I mean,
Yeah.
because do we need to finish this staff before we can take down the Lich anyways?
Is that the deal, Zach?
There has been no direct statement that says you absolutely have to have the stat or the rod complete in order to take down the Lich, but every guiding force has indicated that it is very important.
I will
Gotcha.
chime in and say that both of those gods that I spoke to seem to think that putting your stick together is going to help us stop the Lich.
As a part of
Alright.
its history in the books and stuff that you have read, and in the stuff that your teacher has taught you, you would know that this rod is legendary specifically for killing a ancient god. That's like essentially the first time it's ever been referenced, but it's been used over the years and popped up in other stories where it has always been used to defeat a very powerful enemy. It sort
But
of
we
is
still
essential.
also need to. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we still need to know the exact order to put the rods in correctly to even activate it.
Yep. Yeah, Reggie
All right,
sort of
so
holds them, but they still need to be completed at the end. Like once you gain all of them.
all right. So what was it? I'm sorry, I missed it before. I was zoning out on the rod of fire info. What is the importance of the druids?
So the druids are members of like the townsfolk of Noladzur, and Ashnag has gained intelligence that says that these druids know of a ritual that should be able to restore Mexa and Nexa as long as you
Oh,
can get both of them back to these druids, or get these
okay.
druids to Mexa and Nexa. Now you are in
That's
possession of the girl right now. She is with you guys.
yeah. But we don't have her soul is still in the control under the
Yeah,
control of
it seems like she is slowly sort of regrowing her soul a little bit, but it does not seem fully intact. So it seems like maybe there is still some portion of it being used by the Lich.
but it slowly but surely more and more is coming back over time.
Yeah, slowly. Like she's feeding herself now and stuff. She's not like, instead of drooling, she's like making eye contact.
All right, so the wizard, I mean the druids are very important. The wizards are a good idea. So so have the hobgoblins forces kind of, be a nuisance and do recon and just try to clear out areas and keep the other troops busy and distracted while we go in and talk to the wizards and then go get the druids.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I would say have the hobgoblins and the orcs kind of harass and retreat at the same time, like not necessarily try to like directly
Fully
confront,
engage.
pick them off when they can, keep them distracted, and I also like the idea of kind of like when they encounter towns along the way, help them clear out and get out of the area, and basically assume that the Sword Coast is like a safe enough area for them, and they need to retreat in that direction.
Okay, so just sending general information to towns to retreat west. I wish I had my other map. I don't know what my other map is on. It's on a totally different OBS scene thing, and I don't dare change because it'll wind up being all wonky and not work. So yeah, you guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. What were you gonna ask?
I was just gonna ask if the druids happen to be near like my village or.
Yeah, the intelligence says that they are hiding out in the elven villages in Grimwood. Like Grimwood's a fairly large place, so it's not like a central elven settlement. It's like little villages throughout it. But they're very well defended by like the thick forest that surrounds them and by the sort of like magical nature of Grimwood itself. Like it's on the elves' side essentially. So as
elves are always strongest in their homeland.
So as the forces have been trying to get in there farther, it's been like a literal logging operation where they're like chopping down trees and like, think the deforestation of Mordor type situation that's going on.
I just thought of Ents as soon as you said that.
Yeah. So that's basically like the way I picture it is like it's the section of the video game where you come to the part where they make you choose where you wish to go and how you wish to distribute your forces. So to break it down, you guys have 100 of these kind of humans and elves and dwarves from Waterdeep. You have 200 or so orc marines, and you have 1,000 or so goblinoid creatures of various assorted types. However, the things you would want to keep in mind are that the bugbears and the hobgoblins are the bugbears and they're hobgoblins. They're going to act as such. So if you tell them to clear out, and this is maybe Ashnak giving you advice on this, like, listen, if you tell these sons of bitches to clear out villages, they might take you a little too literally.
Right. I guess what I was thinking more is like the folks that we're with can kind of handle the clearing out, the evacuation, and then I guess I didn't realize there were so many of the hobgoblins, but I think those are the
it's
forces.
essentially it's several tribes kind of in the area of these goblinoids that all sort of fall under the command of this hobgoblin.
So I guess the coordination would be the hobgoblins do the like go to the front, but don't confront them directly. Like, pick them off where you can, but for the most part, try to distract and kind of like spread them out. And then I would say probably the orcs and the humans, elves, etc. from Waterdeep should probably split into teams, because a small town of humans is not going to be happy to see a few orcs show up, but they'll be fine with, like a few humans and a few orcs. So kind of like split themselves that way and help the evacuation to the west.
Okay. And then where... So essentially Ashnak would be like, all right, so it seems like our main deployments are settled. Now where do you folks need to be?
I guess we're heading to the Druids, is that right?
Well, I mean, we know there's a piece of staff in the Anorak Desert where my parents supposedly are still alive, where the old god is. We know there's a piece of the staff in the Plain of Pandemonium. So those are both places too that we could look at.
Desert's probably
because we don't have the kids to bring to the Druids right now, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a waste of a trip. I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so Desert first. How do we get to the Plain of Pandemonium? Which one of us is chaotic and needs to die?
I think we're gonna need some help from our Waterdeep wizard friends.
To get to.
Is the Druid thing a time constraint though, or are we worried about whether they're going to survive, or if someone doesn't get to them quickly?
There does seem to be an imminent threat to Grimwood, because it is the last civilized kind of location east of where you guys started out that has any semblance of humanity left. Like, the rest of it is sort of an undead waste at this point. Like, the small towns and villages have all been overrun. Kalia is like it's like a war zone, literally. It was completely sacked.
I mean, I think if a dude showed up and said, you got to get to the Druids,
he has, by the way, disappeared. When none of you guys were paying attention, Elminster has vanished without a trace, mysteriously.
I guess if Reggie thinks that he's like credible, then I would say we should probably follow those instructions, right?
Well, I asked Reggie's opinion on what he thinks is the best route as far as do we need to go get the piece of the rod first, or do we need to go get the wizard's attention and the priest first, or the druid? Yeah, the druid priest first.
He says, "Well, my vote always goes for the rod. It's my personal quest, after all. But I can't fault
for the good of our overall quest.
I can't fault the intelligence of getting more allies on our side either."
So we're taking a pit stop. Sorry, go ahead.
As far the Plain of Pandemonium we can do from anywhere, because that's basically just putting us on another level of plane of existence. Correct?
Yeah, there's
you guys can go to the Plain of Pandemonium. I'm not going.
There's various methods of traveling planes in the realms, and what works for one doesn't always work for another. Would be what I would say about that.
And as far as the other one in the what direction would that take us? Would that take us away from east, or is that going in the same general direction we need to go anyway?
It's still east. It's more to the north. So like, without a map in front of me, let's see. Anarok is basically the northernmost point of interest at this point. Grimwood would be to the far east. The city of Terrabir, where the Lich Lord, his main force is to the southeast. And then Cormyr and Sembia is sort of to the southwest of the Anarok Desert. So it's like kind of a big circle. You can think of it on the map.
Oh, so Cormyr is to the west of us. It's not really in the direction of where we...
Cormyr is to the east of you, but you guys would be at like the bottom left corner of the circle right now that it would form.
We also have a bunch of gold to like maybe either hire like a mercenary army, or we could try to go to Never Ember and try to get him to commit his army and basically threaten him if he doesn't. So.
Yeah. Good points. I'm saying question. Okay, so everything that we need to go to is pretty much to the east. If we wanted to hit the desert for that piece of staff that we know about, but if we take a pit stop and go to the War Wizards, we might be able to bolster our allies. We only know, positively know the location of 4 parts. We have 2. We know 2 more.
We have 3.
No idea where the remaining... We have 3?
4.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many parts do we have?
3.
Sorry. Jen, you would know.
3 plus Reggie. 3 plus the container, which is Reggie.
Oh, okay. I was counting Reggie. Okay.
It doesn't count as an actual part.
So we have the location we know of 2 more, so that's 5. So we're missing the location of 2 more. And
plus how to put them in order.
Plus how to put them in order. But also, Guilfoyle knows that there's like these special wizards in Cormyr, right? So they might have some knowledge of where the missing parts are as well. So why not stop by there, help them out, bolster our allies, and then head over to the desert and grab that part that we know about.
All right, but then after that, I definitely want to go to Mirkwood because that's my home place, and we need those druids anyway to put Malakani and the other twin back together or whatever.
We're gonna have to grab the other twin along the way at some point.
Yeah,
because we only know
we can't. Is the other twin with Malakani?
I don't know. He
teleported. He was the last time that you saw him, and then he teleported away.
I hit him with an axe.
Yeah, so we're not really ready to face Malakani anyway.
Yeah. Also, Maggie's gonna get her silence spell ready for the next time they encounter him, because I think between the silence spell and the those dimensional shackles, we should be able to trap this dude.
Maybe we'll get lucky and run into him along the way.
Hopefully we'll be riding a dragon this time.
I also wink at the sky in hopes that the DM is looking at me.
We also have the Acquisitions Incorporated people that we could maybe bribe to do something, but that would probably significantly cut into our mercenary budget if we wanted to get like a mercenary army.
I feel like the last time we had to negotiate with them, it took forever, so I'm not really into the AI guys.
I agree.
I mean, all of their business holdings are about to be fucked if they don't turn things around, so should be in their interests.
Well,
that's why I invest in platinum.
I'd like to roleplay that as soon as Maggie says that, almost like supernaturally, Omen Dran is standing behind her, just right there. Did you say my business interests might be affected by, I hadn't thought of that.
Maggie says, I used the word fucked.
Right. What help exactly do you need, he says.
Maggie says, the undead army is growing and will take over the continent unless it can be tamed. So we need...
You right there, Bob?
I had to kill a fly. I had to kill a fly. Sorry, guys.
Watch out for that dragon.
I beat the shit out of it. I rolled a 20.
So yeah, I'm sorry. I just lost my train of thought completely. So Omen looks at you for a moment. He says, "So I understand you need to negotiate with these Cormyrian wizards, perhaps to negotiate some alliance here. Why don't you leave that to me? It's sort of my specialty." And when he says specialty, Jim goes, "Doves," and he's not now, Jim.
Okay. Volk rolls his eyes, and then he asks Arianth if Reggie can tell him about the sword that he picked up from the statue from before.
Guilfoyle also rolls his eyes. I just want to add that in.
Yeah.
No other context. He also just rolls his eyes.
Can we fist bump a little bit on that one?
No.
Damn it.
Too lawful for
He
this.
leaves him hanging.
That's true. Too lawful for Guilfoyle. I get it.
Okay, so yeah, Omen has offered to kind of take care of negotiating a alliance with the governments of Cormyr and Sendia. Would you like to take him up on that offer?
What does he want in return?
He says,
Is he just willing to do it?
Just let me run my business the way that I
The
run
entire
my
world
business."
not to fall apart.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah, in a
I'm
world
okay with it if
in a world
everybody
with-
else is.
In a world filled with undead, there's no coin to be made, essentially.
Actually, Aerith is all about it since her main focus is to get the Rod Piece and get to Mirkwood.
Yeah, I'm about it.
Volk breaks the fourth wall and looks at the camera and does, "I'd rather deal with Ferengi," in a Groucho Marx voice.
Deep cuts. Okay, so as I understand it, you're gonna set the hobgoblins to a path of destruction against the undead as much as possible, and you are going to have the orcs and humans.
Well,
kind of-
guerrilla style, so that they don't really
Yeah, so they're
like,
not just going
take
head
any
with them.
harm to
Yeah.
their forces.
That's right
To
up
be
their
clear,
alley.
don't burn or hurt. Don't burn the villages. Just maintain the law and strike when you can. Only hurt the undead.
I'm sure they'll listen to that, to the letter of the law. Okay, so with them deployed to the battlefields of Cormyr and Omen and his company trying to negotiate some sort of a deal with the government of those two nation states, you guys are now free to Ashnak will offer to have Grotag Nut Smasher drop you off wherever. Grotag says, "You know, this military life's been pretty good. Ashnak actually convinced me to start this thing called an Air Force. We're going to try and get some more of these dragons in the air and see how that goes."
A force in the air. That sounds preposterous.
Does Grotog Nut Smasher have like marine weapons on him now? Or
Yeah, he's like straight. He's got like an M16 across one shoulder now.
And he's got the curse.
Yeah, he seems to.
Yeah.
Sweet.
He'll like as you walk by, he salutes you in Guilfoyle. "Nice stripes, sir. Nice stripes."
Oh yeah.
Do the hobgoblins have the curse too? Did Ashnak get them in on that?
He was trying to talk to them about it, but you haven't seen any signs that they've got the or marine weapons of any sort yet. Like you actually haven't seen the hobgoblins or bugbears since your last encounter with them. That's just Ashnak sent out messengers towards their camps.
All right. I like the idea that the next time we hear about them, it's probably going to be a really fun, creative idea. So we'll leave it at that. Yeah. So I guess we take the white dragon plane to the desert. Is that right?
Damn yeah.
Okay.
And then on to Mirkwood if everybody's agreed with.
Yeah, yeah. If we pick up the twin along the way, that's fine, Elf. As long as the stick gets put together, let's go.
Okay. So as you guys are climbing into the white dragon, are you having Munley and Nexa and Arlo accompany you, or would you like them to stay with one of the other groups? They're sort of looking to you for direction.
I guess it would help to have Max with us, right? I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
Anyone else get that
I'm
knowing
50-50.
feeling of? Yeah.
I'm
Anyone get that knowing
50-50.
feeling? Go ahead.
No, I just said I'm 50-50.
Oh, I was going to say I got a gnawing feeling that if we take the one twin with us, suddenly we won't know where they ended up. But that's
Well,
just me.
I see the reasoning of bringing the twin with us, as well as Mungly and Arlo, to have extra backup, plus to have the druids have her right then and there to tell us what they need, whatever they can do. But I also see the reasoning of leaving her behind. But I'm also worried that if we're not, well, she's been on our own all this time, safe with Mungly and Arlo, and if we left her with Hashtag, I'm sure it'd be probably safer than with us. But I don't know. I'm 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, if we do encounter her twin again, and we have the druids with us, we're gonna want all of them in one spot. But yeah, I don't know. It's such a. I mean, I think there's like increasingly fewer safe spots in the world, so that's part of why I think she should come with us.
What do Tuhan and Guilfoyle think?
I'm good with whatever.
I mean, the Minster said that my mom and dad are still alive, which I very much thought they were dead. So I wouldn't mind checking it out if he's real smart.
I'd also like to think that. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say your mom and dad are in the desert near the other piece, right?
With the old god, I guess.
That is not the
Well, then
Minster. It is Elminster, by the way.
The Minster.
I mean, I'm certainly
It's
fine with
Spanish.
Tuhan seeing parents, considering I want to go back to my homeland. I'm completely understandable and empathetic with that, especially since it's right around where the rot we need to get is anyway.
I'm glad to hear everyone's homesick, but we know the rod is in the desert, and if I'm honest, I would love to meet the murder lizard's parents, who also I assume are murder lizards.
That's a good
We
point.
got to bend to everybody's needs to get everybody to compromise.
Fair enough, Elf. Your magic stick is my quest too, so.
So, but we still need to figure out if we want to bring Nexa with us or not.
I guess the other question is like, how much room is there on this dragon? Like, if we're trying to pick up these druids and stuff, do we need to leave people behind?
Well, we know that there's room for an uncomfortable 24 in there. I'll say that pretty comfortably seated, like, helicopter seating style, you guys could fit 12 people in this thing. Plus, you need at least, I'll say, four members of the crew to pilot the wings and, like, to flap the actual wings and mechanical aspects of it. So, like 16 total people, minus, and then the four of those would be occupied, essentially.
That's funny. I think I have the opposite of Bob. I have more of a like a queasy feeling about leaving Maxa behind and or like disappearing. But
The twin is closer to you than me, so if you want to take the twin with us, more than happy to accommodate that. Just my own thought.
Then we should definitely bring Mungly and Arlo. If we do bring the twin, we should definitely bring Mungly and Arlo to keep an eye on her. And maybe the pooch too. If Tohan wants to bring.
cool.
Everyone hop on.
Alright, so you guys load into the dragon. And Ashnak says, well, I got shit to do here, but you folks have a safe trip. Alright, boys, you know your orders, let's move. And everybody starts to mobilize around the camp, and Grotag says, so, Anarok then?
Yep.
Alright, so you guys begin flying to the Anarok Desert. I will say it takes at least, from where you are, probably 8 hours to fly to Anarok, with these orcs flying the way that they fly, the wings flapping kind of unevenly, you're turning side to side.
Is that with myself and Tohan helping pump the wings?
Yeah, I think so because I think it would probably take longer, but you guys are sort of directing them, like, you're okay,
Sure.
heave, ho, like you're actually like
No, okay. Got
helping
it.
them out with that.
That's how you get a good pump. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you guys arrive near the edge of the Anarok Desert, and the first thing that you all notice um, is that any sort of magic items that you have on you seem to lose their luster a little bit. And Arianth, if you try to consult Reggie about this, he's quiet. He does not respond. You seem to be in some sort of a magical dead zone.
Can I do an Arcana check to see like how much it affects my magic abilities?
Yeah, but you currently would not get advantage from Reggie. So just a.
Gotcha. Alright, so
I don't know
wanna-
if you get advantage from anything else, but he would not. Be
No, I get a +6 bonus
Okay.
on my Arcana checks, but just I get an advantage on that in history from Reggie. However, got me a 22, so
22. Okay,
give
so
me something.
you remember reading in one of your library books that the Anarok Desert was the site of an ancient magical cataclysm, and parts of it are known to be magical dead zones. Like picture your cell phone having negative bars.
Like an EMP went out for magic over there.
Yeah, magic is also known in certain pockets of the Anarok Desert to behave wildly. And speaking of that, I'm going to have you roll on the wild magic table as your arcane questioning brings up some of your sorceress power. Now I got to find the wild magic table for you.
Alright, so what do I roll?
To the
It's
player's
going
handbook.
to be a
1d100.
D100, so a percentage dice.
Oh shit.
Are you gonna Wand of Wonder,
So-
Arians?
Mm-hmm.
We're in a wand of wonder at this point.
Alright, so
Wild magic's way more fun
I'm-
than a lot of wonder.
so which one is a D100 on the beyond?
I do not know.
The one with 2 dice.
It's
Sorry.
the
The
Yeah.
one with
Yeah.
2 dice, that's what I thought. Okay. Alright, rolling.
There it is. Dun dun dun, 86.
I got an 86.
You're about to 86 us.
Okay.
Oh shit.
A mirror image of Arianth appears directly next to her,
all right.
like to her right-hand side, we'll say. And everything that Arianth does, this thing does in complete mirror. So if she turns towards it, it turns towards her. It's just like if there was always a mirror in between her and this thing.
I start a prayer to Kellenvor and Merkul, and I ask them, does this mean I have to put together 2 sticks?
Make a religion check.
While he's doing that, I try to speak to the image and see what it does.
Tres.
Okay, you get no response from your prayer, Bob.
Oh, God.
As you are speaking, it is also mouthing the words that you are speaking, but nothing.
No sound?
Yeah, no sound. It's
Maggie asks Arianth and then tries to ask the other Arianth and isn't really sure what to ask, so she just kind of closes her eyes and asks whether this also affects cleric magic equally and paladin magic. I don't know if that's
Is that
like-
something covered? Is that covered under my Arcanist check or?
That's interesting. I actually don't remember from my notes.
Normally, yes.
It is.
Yeah, I would say yes, because religion and gods and magic are so intertwined in the realms. Like, I mean, there is a god of magic, but each god also possesses their own magic, and it's all sort of interwoven.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
That freaks Maggie out, and she kind of starts to say a prayer to Hestia, then like quickly shuts up just in case.
Okay.
So, do I sense that this means that anytime I use magic that I'm gonna be encountering wild magic?
Uh, you're not sure, but based on the fact that it's essentially triggered your, like it's triggered your bloodline, your sorceress bloodline in this particular instance. Like sort of like what we were talking about earlier, like where you get to choose a sorceress bloodline, and that has an
Yeah,
effect on how
I'm
you.
shadow magic or
Yep.
something like that.
So yeah, this has drawn some of that out of you and kind of just made it react wildly with the environment. So you're not sure if casting spells would react the same, but intuitively you would think so.
Yeah, since considering that all I did was bring up my innate magical senses to try to sense what was going on, and that was enough to bring it forth.
Yeah. So avoid magic as much as we can.
I'm useless.
So yeah, you guys are able to arrive, like I said, in Anarok, and you've landed the dragon. Bloop. And here you all are, kind of out in the desert. I have not loaded in the dragon and the other minis and stuff, but we could assume that they are within the same space here. And nighttime is approaching. From where Elminster showed you on a map, we'll say. Maybe Guilfoyle pulls out one of his many maps and Elminster shows him on the map. So somewhere's around here. You land just slightly to the east of this area where Elminster says that the next temple of the old gods is. Would you guys like to head out in the nighttime, or would you like to wait until day?
How close are we to exhaustion without a rest?
Very close at this point. You guys have only taken short
Do we-
rests for a couple of rests now, I believe. It's been probably 36 hours since you've actually taken like a long sleep.
Well, we probably could use one of those, I would imagine. I mean, I'm okay, but I don't know how everybody else is.
I'm fine. But
But we
If
do.
magic doesn't work, I guess I'll live. I'm probably going to equip my longsword again if magic's out of the game.
Will a short rest? How good will a short rest get rid of the exhaustion factor?
Will not. Like it's like trying to take a power nap after being awake for 24 hours. Like if you try to wake yourself up, you're going to be just as tired as when you went to bed. I mean, you'll still get your benefits of a short rest, but you'll probably.
Is anyone concerned about exhaustion, or?
Where are we with our exhaustion, actually?
I don't think anybody has a level of it at all right now.
Yeah, I don't, so.
I think it would be worth like scouting and just figuring out what's around us, and then deciding whether to set up camp here.
Okay. So yeah, you're pretty easily able to climb to one of the tall dunes, and looking around you, you can kind of see it is pretty much open area desert. We will say that over here where the shadow is, to the west is kind of your the area where you think that this temple may be located. Like there's maybe a small few rocky outcroppings in like a largest circle, and it looks like maybe there's a path leading into them. It's a ways away, but not miles or anything. It's like a few, maybe like 1,000 feet away or something.
I guess if we've got folks with night vision, like, I don't know, I would say let's press on and head towards the temple.
I have 120 feet in night vision.
Okay. So as you guys proceed towards this area, I will have everybody roll a wisdom check or a perception check. I'm sorry. let me know if anybody gets above. Tell you what.
Got a 22.
Mm,
17.
Guilfoyle got a no.
13.
So I am looking for a 19. So I heard Maggie had above a 19.
22, yep.
Okay, so Maggie and anyone else that gets above a 19 will hear a skittering kind of clatter, like a from one of the nearby dunes that's sort of in the shadows.
He describes that to the group and asks anybody with dark vision if they can see what's up.
I try to look towards the sound that where Maggie described to see what I see.
Okay. So you see the outline of what looks like. Let's see. How do we describe this? You see the outline of something that looks like a human, but you're pretty sure it's not human. And as you're kind of watching, you see 2, 3, 4, 5 of these shapes, and you think maybe there's more.
I quietly describe what I'm seeing to the entire group.
Okay, do you guys continue
Is
forward?
Is the sound a language per se, or is it? Is that something we can perceive as if they're like communicating, or?
They do seem to be kind of clicking back and forth, but it doesn't. The clicking doesn't seem to actually go with the gestures that they're making. Like it's like the clicking seems separate from they seem to be gesticulating as like a language, like they're pointing, maybe moving back and forth, sort of in an almost animalistic fashion. But yeah, they don't. It doesn't seem to necessarily be like a spoken language of any sort that you would recognize.
Okay, so if I cast comprehend languages, I wouldn't be able to understand what they're communicating.
You can always try.
Well, screw it. I'll try it.
Okay.
I cast comprehend language to see if I understand what they're communicating.
Alright, so even with comprehend languages up, you don't fully understand what they're saying, but you do start catching words. It seems like this is some sort of a mix of something like telepathy, but not a telepathy that you're familiar with. It's not like when you use the sending stones. This is coming across more as like almost like a wash of colors or like a wave of emotion, and like you're detecting different ones from different things. Like as one of them makes a noise and kind of makes like a few motions, it sort of has like a wave of red come across it, like it's angry almost, and like another one gets like the fear emotion that comes across it pretty clearly. And
do I get any sense that they know we're here?
Yeah, some of the words that you hear are forelimbs, sleepers.
All right, as I'm hearing all this, I'm relaying it to the entire group.
All right.
I would say it probably makes sense to continue on. Maggie can also cast tongues if like we get closer and they don't attack us.
What's everybody else thinking?
Yeah, let's try sneak up, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. Give me some stealth checks.
Oh man.
All you plate mail having people clang.
9.
Let's sneak up.
Yeah, I light a torch.
I also got a 9.
10.
Oddly enough, I got an 11 for my disadvantage roll, so
Nice.
I did better than most of you. Clink, clink, clink.
The sand is muffling it.
Yeah.
I guess so.
All right. So you guys are trying to kind of stay low around a dune, but as you come around to where you think that these beings are going to be farther away, they have moved quite rapidly, and you can now see. I'll do it this way. What they look like. It's the easiest way here. Okay, so guys, this.
Oh, they look like dice.
They look like dice now. They look like that.
Cool.
Forearms.
Almost kind
all
of
them-
insectoid, aren't they?
Yes.
They look like they're from episode 1 there.
Yeah.
They're close.
I'm back.
Okay. Oh, Bill. This is what the group of creatures that you guys have attempted to sneak past, and I didn't actually see Guilfoyle's roll, but I'm assuming he passed the stealth roll. So Guilfoyle and Valk are still hidden, we'll say, from them, but as they press up over the top of this dune, moving very rapidly, sometimes moving on 2 legs, sometimes falling down to 4 limbs. You see that each of them seems to be carrying a long double-headed spear, and in their other hands and at their sides are these kind of 3-pointed, what look to be almost like oversized throwing stars. And one of them kind of makes this chittering noise yet again, and an emotion of curiosity washes over it, as you can see, Arianth.
I guess Maggie will cast tongues at this point
Okay.
on herself.
As soon as you
And,
begin to kind of make motions, the Thrycreen look at you quizzically. Roll me a religion check to see if you are able to cast the spell.
Okay. With guidance, I get. Oh, geez, that's not good. 8.
Okay. So yeah, your tongue spell fails.
Shit.
And now an emotion of impatience seems to be coming from this thing. And it's still curious, but it's more like, okay, what are you doing?
All right, I guess I'll cast it again using a 4th level slot.
Okay. All right.
So I have another religion check.
You don't need to make a religion check this time. Roll me a 100-sided die.
Oh boy.
Gotta find it
A
again.
64.
64. Okay. I'm gonna have to make a bookmark for the wild magic page. Good old-fashioned page turning. Edit. 64, you said?
I did.
Okay.
Unless that's a bad thing, and then that's not what I said.
A cloud of fog erupts from Maggie. About. Let's see. How far would fog cloud travel? Oh, HIJK element. Oh, fog. Foggy fog cloud. Odd. It's not actually in the player's handbook. Why would they reference it if it's not in there? So yeah, a fog cloud, we'll say 10 feet in radius, so like 10 feet on either side, 20-foot diameter, billows out, and several of the creatures skitter backwards from you, and your tongue spell now succeeds, and you now understand their thoughts, but it sort of is coming through like it's in Google Translate, where like maybe words are sort of in the wrong spot a bit, but you get something along the lines of, "What strangeness is this?
Maggie says, "We come in peace, friends. We're we seek the old temple."
Okay, and it sort of stops, tilts its head sideways as though hearing you speak is like, and understanding you is a very curious feature to it. And it says, Tlakshik, mighty warrior. Tlakshik hunter. Hunter? And points at you, like questioning you. Are you a hunter?
Maggie says, we are many things. We have hunted, we have fed, and right now we are searching."
He looks at each of you kind of individually, and this is clearly some sort of like a chieftain of this tribe. He says, Thrykreen, and points at all of his friends. Thrykreen hunt. Hunt dead.
Hunt dead, he said.
Yep, he said hunt dead.
Maggie says, "You look very powerful. Your spears and throwing stars look sharp."
I suggest to Maggie to consider. I can understand too that perhaps she should tell them that we also hunt the dead.
Oh,
I nod excitedly.
He holds up the spear and he says Githka, and he holds up the star and says Chatka. Kind of.
I hold up my axe and say axe.
He nods approvingly.
I hold up my longsword and say, sword.
Like, this is fun, but
Yeah, this is awesome. We're making friends.
Maggie says, you hunt the undead, the skeletons."
Yes, kill many dead.
Maggie says,
Dead not stay dead though.
Maggie says, "We do too, and we hunt the creature that creates them and keeps them from staying dead."
And he kind of stops and considers this for a moment. He says, "You hunt King of Dead? We hunt.
Yes.
We hunt King of Dead too. Where King of Dead?" Now he's like dead serious. He's like almost angry when he says, "We hunt King of Dead."
Maggie says he has been spreading his forces throughout the land, and we don't know where he is. But he has found us, and we're trying to find a temple to locate him.
I mean, we just saw him yesterday. Do we have like a map where you can show him where we saw him, or?
Yeah, you guys have a map, I'll assume, at this point. Like somebody from Waterdeep has probably provided you with a map.
I suggest to Maggie to perhaps warn them how very powerful the King of the Dead is.
Yeah, Maggie's. Well, yeah, I guess Maggie. No. Well, they're still far away from us, right? I mean, they haven't like approached us.
They're maybe like 10, 15 feet away as a group. They're just standing at the top of the sand dune.
Okay. Yeah, Maggie says, when we were near him, he banished us across the continent, where we need to develop the power to defeat him before we approach him.
So you hunt, but not
Yeah.
strong. Must get strong. Must hunt more. Practice. Practice the hunt. Hunt become easy.
Maggie says that's a very good idea. We can show you where he was a day ago.
I ask Maggie to ask them if they do know of the temple we seek.
Yeah, Maggie asks that again.
Okay. Flagship looks at you and says, Temple. Temple. In Crag. Temple. Bad place. Many hunter. Hunt. On quest. No come back. Flagship hunt there. Come back. Flagship strong.
Maggie says, "What did you find in there?"
Flagship find. He finds self. Find great spear. Could not hold great spear though.
What happened when you tried to hold the spear?
Much pain.
And Reggie's still kind of out of commission. Is that right?
Yeah, if you try to contact Reggie, it's still kind of radio silence right now. It's almost like a static.
Does the spear in the temple sound like what we're looking for?
Yeah.
Aaron certainly
100%.
believes so.
Maggie asked, what killed the other hunters?
Flagship says, let me look at my notes.
Maggie's like, oh, you could speak common this whole time, god damn it.
He said, Flagship stops for a moment, and he sort of rubs his hands together a little bit, and he projects into your mind a mental image of what appears at first to be a pair of horns coming off the top of the head, and as the image sort of forms, you see very bovine features, and then large muscular shoulders, and going down to hooved legs with hooved feet on them, and just this massive bulging minotaur that seems to be holding this large spear, and it's again similar to Tyranthraxus carved out of stone. This minotaur though is like normal sized. It's not like a giant. It's just people sized.
Maggie says you were able to defeat the minotaur, but the spear was painful to hold.
No, could not take spear from minotaur statue. Tried to. Too much pain. Flagship not strong enough. He kind of hangs his head in shame.
The magic of the minotaur killed other hunters and left you alive.
He sort of shrugs his foreshoulders. There's weird double jointed shoulders, and Tlakshik, no Tlakshik story, not other story.
All right, sounds like the place to go.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know anything I should tell him about hunting the undead. I mean, I guess Maggie will tell him a force is growing of hobgoblins and orcs who are hunting the undead, but the undead are also growing, and when we are killed, their forces grow stronger. So we want to stay to their outside and pick them off, but not confront them directly until all of us are ready, like a swarm.
Thrycreen no fight like coward. Thrycreen fight like warrior.
Can you ask them if they've seen any dragonborn like me, like my color?
Maggie asks that, points to Tohan and says, "Have you seen any like him?"
He turns and kind of looks for a moment,
I flex too.
The pecs go up and down.
Yes.
Yeah, show some
Nah.
ass.
The Thrycreen just nods slowly one time, and he points again to the temple.
They're inside the temple.
He nods again.
All right, let's go.
Let's roll.
All right. Thank you, friend. You're a great hunter, and you know, I don't know.
Nice things.
Up here.
Nice things. Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
Rock on. Don't fuck up.
the band of Thrycreen continues on their way. Seemingly on their. They seem amused, is the feeling that you're still getting, Arianth, as they're kind of broadcasting these emotions, and you guys are able to kind of catch that they just seem like amused at the thought of fighting an enemy and then running away. They're like, no. And as you head,
I was just gonna say I relay that to the group.
yeah, as you head towards this temple, you notice that on either side of this kind of large, like, cliffed off area that seems to be like a passageway leading up to the temple, these huge temple doors, there is a pair of stone sphinxes. One atop either side of the passageway. And their eyes are closed at the moment.
This is reminding me very much of the Never-Ending Story.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course he doesn't. Anyone?
Should I
get
try to
those-
push these ones over?
These are up like several hundred feet on this weird.
Oh, okay.
Like on
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
if
run
their
for a bit to
eyes-
get there.
like an abuse.
If their eyes start opening, run.
Yeah, quick reminder, you guys have +3 to save, so if he tells you to do a dex save, which he's going to,
Alright, so yeah, you guys continue up towards the temple. Everybody make me a perception check.
god damn.
We'll say the DC on this one is 15.
Oh, natural 20.
Okay.
Four.
So what a surprise.
23.
You several of you are able to see that the Sphinx's eyes do begin to open, and they have an ominous red glow to them.
I got a 6, so I am not seeing this. So somebody please tell me so I can say,
Oh, yeah.
yell, run.
Yeah, the guys, I think the eyes are starting to open on the sphinxes here.
Run!
Okay, so what's everybody doing?
We're running.
Running? Okay.
I'm booking.
Run.
Each of you, please make me an athletics check.
$26.
Okay.
Can we do acrobatics instead?
I will let you do acrobatics. Yep.
Am I doing athletics or acrobatics?
I'll let you choose. Whichever you would like to use.
Nat 20 for 27.
Ooh.
Oh god.
Guilfoyle just
Yes.
moves sideways. Continues to walk slowly.
I got a 17.
I got an 8.
I
Okay.
just realized, I'm just gonna. I did not pass. I'll just say that.
Okay, so anybody that got lower than a 15, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
+3 on that. Jesus Christ. 10.
Alright. That's not a pass.
What was my +3? I got a 6.
Okay. So the two of you will then take 9 necrotic damage each. And that is necrotic damage, which I believe, unless I'm mistaken, will lower your max hit points by 9 as well. Until you guys take a long rest. Also, the second that you enter the kind of area of the temple, you all gain 1 level of exhaustion, as you have now been awake for going on 40 hours, we'll say, with only short rests. First level of exhaustion, I believe, is disadvantage on skill checks.
Yeah, disadvantage on ability checks is.
Yep.
So we might want to camp here if we can.
Right in the entranceway of this temple.
Yeah,
I mean, we can take shifts.
There is essentially, to describe it, there is 2 very large walls that lead back the way you just ran through with the sphinxes. And then there's a big giant door, and there's a very small area of sky overhead, with pretty much sheer cliffs all around you. And just a huge, ornate cast iron door.
I try to open the door.
Maybe a strength check.
Not great. 14.
You can get guidance from Maggie. +4. Plus D4, I mean.
Okay, it was gonna be a 15 anyways, so yeah, you like, Maggie stands in the background. You can do it, murder lizard! And
exactly.
the door, she gets a little extra boost of confidence, and the door swings open.
They can do it.
Yeah, standing in the middle of a dark and moldy sort of cathedral is a statue of a minotaur, and he's holding a spear that's maybe... The spear itself is maybe 8 feet long. It's longer than a normal spear.
Guys, I know what we have to do. We have to knock it over and then set it on fire and then murder it.
Yep, no, that's actually worked for literally everything we've done in the past. So
This is like this is what we're good at so far.
That's you guys' MO.
do you maybe want us to take a little break before we knock it over, burn it down, and punch it?
Yeah, I'm looking for my parents. Like, do I see any like signs of people or anything like that, or just kind of?
You don't see anything in the cathedral other than the statue. There is a series of, like, pews, old stone kind of chairs that are set up, and there's a large altar up at the front. This seems to be a very, like, bare bones, almost like a primitive temple. Most of the adornments are stone, and there is a few passageways that lead off the back side. But no, there's no sign of anyone living here or any life nearby.
I do suggest that if we're going to the group, that if we're going to find Tohan's parents, we do it before we go for the staff, considering the last time things went into destruction mode after we got it.
Maggie's still got tongues cast, so is it worth just kind of like casting thaumaturgy and yelling into the room? See if anybody's alive.
You can certainly try.
Y'all opposed, or should I do that?
I was about to start yelling Rohan, which is my dad's name.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I guess Maggie will do that. I mean, she's also not sure whether the statue has intelligence of some sort. So.
If everybody is okay with the chance that I might do something, I can do an Arcana check and try to sense something about the statue. Or do you want to wait until we yell for Tohan's parents?
I guess I'm gonna say Maggie's already done it. She maybe the level of exhaustion has hindered her caution a little bit.
Okay.
So she's cast thaumaturgy and yells, "Is there life in this temple?"
So at the sound of your voice, a distant rumbling begins.
Nice.
Drums in the deep.
And that will
Boulder
go back
and
to
Boulder
ordered away.
I mean, it's 9:53. We could have taken a long rest, but no.
So this rumbling begins, and you just notice the eyes on the Minotaur statue also begin to open, and they have that same red glow to them. And just as this happens, the floor gives out underneath you, as though on command. It just drops, and you all begin to slide down sloped walls. You wind up falling onto a big pit of sand. You fall about 20 feet. So I need everybody to make a dex save versus taking 6 falling damage, half on a successful save for the fall.
I get advantage on dex. So
And-
Do we
17.
still get +3, Bell?
Yes, 13.
We'll say the DC on it is a 15 again because it's a fairly small fall. So yeah, if it was a fail, then you take 6. If it was a success, you take 3.
Okay.
And
It's
yeah,
plus the 3, so 19.
as you look around, you see that you are in a room, and this is still dimly, or it's still dark, but this one is has some kind of smoldering torches here and there that are lighting the room, and there are several exits from the room, open passageways that lead off in each direction, a few on each wall, and you hear a booming voice say, "So, you've made it to the labyrinth. We will see how you fare."
Those dudes didn't say nothing about a labyrinth.
No, they didn't. So yeah, so you guys, I'm gonna say that's gonna be our cliffhanger for this week. You guys have just entered this temple and fallen down into what appears to be the Minotaur's labyrinth. I'm just gonna put a delay on your plans, guys.
Do we want to take a long rest now, or do we want to keep going forth?
Rest.
Rest.
Yeah, I think if we can rest, let's do it.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping you from resting. Is anybody going to stay and watch?
Well, I only need 4 hours, so I mean,
Okay, so there's one watch with at least one person.
Yeah, I'll stand watch. I'll take first watch.
Okay, let me just really quickly check and see if anything pops up. Alright, lower rules. Cool. So you guys are able to take a long rest with no incursions or encounters. The floor that has collapsed above you has sort of like... you can see up to it, but you cannot find a way to climb up to it, essentially. It's like fairly smooth stone walls going up the sides. And you guys slid for quite a bit.
like throwing
You
it.
sort of slid down like this sand funnel and plooped through the ground, so it's like you could maybe see some light coming through the ceiling, but it's sort of in the top center of this 20-foot cavern, and there's no real way to get to it. Yeah, so I think that's a good spot to leave off for tonight, and then we can pick up next week.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, you as well, though. Thank you.
You too.
Sounds good.
Good
Take
night.
care.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, Dave.
Nice.
Next time that you make it up here, I'm gonna have to try to get out. I probably could have made it over there today, but I was in the hot sun for quite a bit today,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I was
yeah.